Welcome to the Probate Bootcamp to help you learn how this stuff works when you have to deal with someone else's legal mess. And you're dealing with someone's mess either because that was part of the plan, you were the person that they wanted to clean up or deal with the legal issues that came up when they died, or because there was no plan and you're just stuck. And this boot camp will walk you through the major issues that you're dealing with and talk through when it's time for you to reach out to a professional. Or maybe you're here because you know you will probably deal with whatever legal mess someone else is going to leave behind for you, and you're thinking ahead. You have no idea if they have their affairs in order or what that even really means. Well, in the Probate Bootcamp, I'm going to introduce you, like I said, to the topics you'll run into and explain when it's time to work with a professional. I'm Jen Gumbel. I'm an attorney who's worked with hundreds of families, and I'm a longtime estate planning and probate CLE teacher. That means I teach other lawyers how this stuff works. I'm the creator of Organized Afterlife and an online educator and podcaster. Keep in mind, this boot camp is not legal advice. It's education about legal stuff. And you may have never dealt with legal stuff before. Estate planning and probate is the legal issue that everyone will deal with, whether it's the fact that they left a legal to-do list behind or that you're the one cleaning up after it. Now, if your person is here, you're in an enviable position and you need to have a conversation. And we're not very good at having these conversations. So I encourage you to watch the do's and don't video on my website, organizedafterlife.com/videos. Head over there, take a little pause. Head over there and watch that video. That gives you pointers in how to have the conversations in the right way, things to keep in mind and things to avoid. These are the topics that we're going to cover in the boot camp. First, and this is the most important topic that you need to understand, how assets transfer, whether it's through probate or alternatives to probate. We'll talk about the role of documents, things like wills and trust and what they do. We'll talk about taxes. We'll talk about incapacity, when someone's here, but they can't do things for themselves. Things like attorneys in fact, other kinds of agents, and court interventions through guardianships and conservatorships. We'll talk about how to view an expected inheritance. We'll also talk about nursing home care and medical assistance. And I'll have a bonus session about how to get an effective estate plan in place. Now, before we begin, I want you to download the workbook. It's a PDF, it's a fillable PDF. So you can print it off if you feel more comfortable that way, or just have the PDF up available as you're watching and going through the boot camp, and then you can fill it in electronically as we go. Now, I want you to know that these issues and dealing with them, it's entirely doable. It feels overwhelming. But you just have to know how it works. And knowledge is a game changer with anything. I think about it a lot like when I first started driving and my car needed to go into a mechanic. I didn't know a lot about cars. So when I brought it to a mechanic, I just kind of had to cross my fingers and hoped what they told me was the way it worked, and that they were being straight with me and they knew what they were doing. But I had no way of evaluating what they were telling me or to have any frame of reference, and it felt overwhelming. Well, the point of this boot camp is to help you get a baseline understanding of knowledge so that when you do reach out to the professionals, number one, to know when it's time to reach out to a professional. And then when you do, that you can feel confident in the process.